going on, everybody out there in Chiefs Nation? It's your boy DR2, otherwise known to some of y'all as the Black Italian, coming through with a little bit of post-game monologue from last night's loss at Denver. I couldn't do this last night. I was a little too upset, so I had to wait till today to come through. I promised some people I'd do it, so here I am. You can't just show up when things are good. You gotta show up all the time, and sometimes things are gonna be bad in this league. We all knew that the Kansas City Chiefs weren't gonna go 16-0. I'm a little shocked by how poorly we played last night, but you know, here I am with another version of the good, the bad, and the ugly for the 2013 Kansas City Chiefs. So let's get right to it. The good. There really wasn't much good last night, I gotta be honest. From the time I got to the bar, you know, to watch this game, the girl couldn't even get the TV on the set, and I just had a bad feeling, you know. And then we open up the game with a false start, you know, and we proceeded to be pretty inept from there. These things happen. Denver's a tough place to play. You know, we haven't won there in forever. When I looked at the schedule early in the season and I thought, you know, what games we were going to lose, I had this as being one of them. So, you know, it's not the fact that we lost, it's kind of how we lost. So, let's get to it. We tackled better than we did at Buffalo last night. You know, anything underneath, you know, was we were hitting hard, letting them know. DJ had a nice hit. You know, Brandon Flowers had a really nice hit. These guys were tackling well. You know, I've come to expect hard hits from our defense anytime someone comes over the middle, and they did some of that. We didn't get blown out. We were in a prime spot to get our doors blown off last night. Let's face it, that game could have been 41-3 easily. You know, I think the 7 points that we did get, you know, we got lucky. You know, Dwayne Bowe pushed off. That was offensive pass interference. They just didn't call it. You know, and other than that, we didn't do anything offensively. We got the 3 points. So, you know, when push comes to shove, if you can hold Manning down the way we did, you know, he still had 300-plus yards, but not a whole, you know, assload of touchdowns. You got to be happy with that. And so, you know, again, we're a bend but don't break defense. You know, our average was 12.5 points a game. You know, 17 was the most we'd given up. Last night we gave up, you know, 27. Not the end of the world, man. Peyton Manning scores 27 points on most teams by halftime. You know, and it was in his house. You know, there are some silver linings. That was one of them. So, I've been screaming forever, we got to get some more shots down the field. You know, why did we bring Donnie Avery in here? You know, I'm still wondering. You know, an elusive, fast, speedy guy who's got decent hands. You know, we weren't taking any shots down the field. We haven't really done so at all since the Tennessee game. You know, and last night we tried it, you know, and failed at it, but I was happy to at least see them try, you know. He's a little bit better route runner than Dwayne Bowe. You know, I think he's got better hands too, but Dwayne is a little bit, you know, stronger and more beast-like. And it was nice to at least see them try to at least, you know, get some chunks of yards, you know. Pass interference doesn't happen at the line of scrimmage with these 1 yard, you know, dink and dunk passes. So I was a little happy to see that. That wraps up the good. I gotta be honest, I wish there was a little bit more good to bring, but there's not. So let's go to the bad. Our O-line is like a leaky faucet. It was like a sieve. Now, mind you, we didn't give up 10 sacks or anything like that. We just looked out of place a lot of times, you know. Eric Fisher, to me, is the prototypical Jekyll and Hyde rookie. You know, sometimes he looks really good, and then other times when he looks bad, he looks really bad. Last night, you know, he had really bad moments. And it's become really obvious to me that this is our biggest crutch. Our offense doesn't go because our line doesn't go. You know, I mean, is anybody else surprised that JC's had no real big runs this year? I mean, he had a nice one last night. He broke off like a 30-yarder. But, I mean, last year this guy was beasting all over the place. We're just not seeing it anymore. You know, a couple years ago in Denver, you know, to end the season, you know, we ripped off 44 points versus them. I mean, he put up a Chiefs record in that building. So, I mean, it's virtually, you know, a lot of the same players, but, you know, the O-line is in shambles. And it's a young O-line, I get that. And they have their moments where they do all right. Last night just wasn't one of them. And again, man, that's a hostile environment, man. Denver's a tough place to play, man. I mean, there's a couple places in this league where you're just not going to win. Seattle's one of them. You know, Denver's one of them. New England's one of them. You know, Arrowhead used to be one of them. We're doing very well there. I think we may go undefeated in our building this year and then bring back, you know, ourselves to that upper echelon level of you're not winning in our house. But the bottom line is, you know, we don't travel well. The teams we have beaten on the road, look at them, you know, the Tennessees, the Jacksonvilles, the Buffaloes. I mean, these teams haven't won a Super Bowl anytime recently. I mean, bigger, tougher, stronger, faster, better teams with big-time quarterbacks, you're not going there, you know. New Orleans, you're not going there and winning. It's just how it is, you know. I think the Niners have fallen out of that group, you know, but that's just kind of how it is, you know. And we did not play well at all. Worried about my O-line. I really, really am. I hope they can get this deal together. Quarterback play. I mean, it has to get lumped in the bad. I mean, Alex was throwing the ball like I don't know, like he was using the wrong hand. You know, these balls getting thrown into the ground. Well, what was he doing? You know, I just don't get it. And then, you know, I'm not going to shit on Alex because we know what he is. And he's done a good job to this point. He's not a numbers guy. He's a game manager. But, you know, when he does put the ball where it has to be, we drop it. More drop passes. I mean, we cannot win in this league dropping balls the way we are. There's just no way we're able to function as a unit if these guys don't catch the ball when it's in the numbers, you know. And it's like the easy ones lately, it seems like we're dropping. And we catch the hard ones. It's kind of weird, you know. Fasano caught a really difficult pass last night for a touchdown. I just don't get it, you know. It's like, catch the ball when it's in the numbers, you know. Alex is not super accurate. He's got a decent arm, but when he puts it right on there, we have to catch it. You know, it's just no two ways about it. And so, really disappointed in how we looked in those three facets. You know, really disappointed in, you know, getting a turnover and not going for pay dirt. You know, I mean, I know Sherman Tank fumbled the rock, and you know, it was a tough play on his part. But at the same time, I believe that, like, we need to be throwing the ball in the end zone. You cannot win in the NFL without putting the ball in the end zone. Not everything is going to be yak. It's not always going to be these yards after the catch. Throw the ball in the end zone. We have a quarterback with a decent arm. Why are we not throwing the ball in the end zone? For the life of me, I just don't get it. It's driving me absolutely bananas. You know, dinking, dunking, throwing these lines of scrimmage passes. One of these passes is going to get picked off and returned. We need to put the ball down the field. Look, our offense, you know, I was saying last week how we were starting to get to the point, or the week before, where we could start to get to the point where we can trust the offense and the defense at the same time. That's not the case right now. You know, we've had all that time off from the bye week to prepare. We look very much unprepared. Very disappointing showing by our offense in all facets. I mean, I don't have much to hang my head on at all. Okay? So, then there's the ugly. Play calling is unbelievably terrible. I'm sorry. I mean, I think Andy Reid is doing the play calling right now. I just don't understand why we're not putting these guys in a position to showcase their strengths. Very disappointing. We don't put the ball down the field. I feel like we run when we should pass. We pass when we should run. There's no, it's becoming very vanilla, you know, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. There's no creativity to it at all. It's starting to really revert to what we saw last year. And the thing about it is that we have these chess pieces in place to do big things. We're just not doing them properly, you know. And you know, Andy Reid, we got to do a better job. You know, you're down 3 scores, 4th and 6. We got to go for that, man. I mean, are we trying not to win the game? You know, and the offense had absolutely no sense of urgency during that time. We're just walking around, you know, coming to the line of scrimmage, tick, 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 tick. I mean, do we want to win? Come on, I mean, this is ridiculous, you know. The clock management was god-awful last night. It was terrible, okay? It was really, really bad. These are some things, we're going to have to clear this stuff up if we ever want to be better, you know. The bad, Cooper was getting roasted. This guy was terrible last night, you know. Now, mind you, Cooper has really been solid to this point, so we can't kill him too much for a couple of reasons. Why? He's a rookie. 2, a rookie facing Peyton Manning for the first time is supposed to, you know, be a deer in the headlights, you know. And he got picked on. Peyton knew exactly. I mean, these guys smell blood. They went right after him all night long, you know. And so, big chunks of yards were given up, you know, at his hands. To his credit, he stayed out there and he hit hard when he had to, but our secondary took a beating, you know. And for me, the most ugly and disappointing part of this game was the fact that we got no pressure on Manning. I mean, for me, that is number one. I came into this game expecting Tamba Hali, to be hungry, for Justin Houston to be starving. They haven't been getting the sacks, and that offensive line's not great. But I gotta tell you, they did a great job on us last night. Franklin did a great job last night for them. Peyton Manning, it didn't even look like he played a game. He could have went out and got married. He was so fresh, so clean after the game. He didn't even have to have his ankles taped. He was fine. And if you can't get pressure on Peyton Manning, you can't win. And I know he gets the ball out of his hands quicker than anybody. I understand that. But, we didn't even sniff him. He could have farted back there and nobody would have even known. No pressure from a defense that all they're known for is dialing up pressure. You cannot win. And we didn't, And so I'm not nitpicking. These are glaring major things that, that happened last night that we have to look at and be realistic here moving forward. So, there's a couple things we have to do moving forward. Who we are. We're the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the 2013 team. We're 9-1. Everybody stop panicking, including me. Chill the fuck out. We are about Arrowhead. We're about playing solid defense. We're about running the ball. We're about game management. That's what we're about. Every now and then we'll break out with a big thing, but for the most part, we get ahead and we hold teams down, and that's who we are. We're not going to do anything different. What we need to do moving forward is these last couple games, these last 6 games, we cannot go less than 4-2. We just cannot. The road through the playoffs has to go through Arrowhead, or we're not going anywhere. I'm telling you right now, if we're a 4 or 5, going to Cincinnati or going to Indianapolis, we're not winning those games. We're not winning those games. If we get down 10-0 on the road versus anyone, we're not winning those games. We are not equipped to come from behind. We're not a throw all the time ball club. We are who we are, and we have to be in our house, and Peyton Manning has knocked us out of the last 2 playoffs. The one before that, Denver knocked us out. I know it doesn't really matter where we are. It seems like we get beat, but we got to be in our building to be at our best. We cannot lose more than 2 more games. It just can't happen, It eerily is feeling like the last time we went 10-6, went to the playoffs and got beasted by the Ravens. It seems like the same kind of season. We'll win more games. There's no question about it. But the schedule was particularly soft that year, and it was particularly soft, and now, versus better teams. We're going to see who we are. It's gut check time, people. It's really gut check time. So that's all I got for this week's version of the 2000 Chiefs, Good, the Bad, the Ugly. My name is Dexter Reed, otherwise known to some of you as DR2, Real Talk for Real Understanding. Coming from the Pacific Northwest, shout outs to Captain Steve Duran out there on the seas. I hope you're safe out doing your thing out there. And shout out to all Chiefs fans. Shout out to the Chiefs fans like me who aren't from Kansas City, living in other places. Shout out to Joe Anthony Castillo. Good looking out on that shirt, homeboy. I appreciate that. And of course all the female Chief fans. You know how I feel about y'all. And this is what we're looking at moving forward, guys. We have to clear this stuff up. It's really not just the offense. It really isn't, but it's the most glaring part. And if we're going to be serious about being a contender and not a pretender, this is the stuff that we have to do. It must get cleared up. It must happen now. We got San Diego coming in. Let's take these guys down. I can't stand that fucking SpongeBob looking ass quarterback. Chiefs will, now and forever, all day, every day. I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.